Welcome back, Halo followers. Today we have a blowout of Forge news for Halo Infinite. I believe this mode is what's going to be saving Halo Infinite long term, and today I'm going to explain why, and maybe by the end of today you might agree with me, because boy, Forge is looking freaking smexy. You can do almost anything you want in this mode. You can, what appears to be taking down the barriers and the maps, as well as sizing Spartans, sizing weapons, and sizing vehicles and welding them together. In fact, there is actually tutorials already on how to do this, how to download Forge, and so just a lot to break down today, guys. But before we jump into it, smash that like button, blue or black or whatever, because it really does help the YouTube algorithm out, gets this video out to other Halo fans. So as you see right here in this video, this is actually a mashup or a quote trailer of Forge, the one that we all deserve, right? And you can actually watch this if you want to down in the description. I have the sources laid out there, but there is sizing of objects, of Spartans. There is a scripting engine that will allow you to do really anything you want. The guardrails that were sort of there in Halo 5 are no longer there. You can completely change the lighting and have it look convincing. Some maps aren't even recognizable anymore and they look legit. I mean, this is incredible, incredible stuff. Your imagination can go wild. You can create your own vehicles based on existing vehicles. You can change the properties of these vehicles. You can change all kinds of values and functions based on other functions and values in the game and based on what the player is doing. I mean, everything it looks like is possible, and as long as this September Forge beta release drops soon and that it delivers, right, and it's mostly functional, I think that we have a real chance at having Halo Infinite make a resurgence in population. And as long as 343 pays attention, allows for there to be community file sharing, and put some of these maps up on the matchmaking, then as long as they look good, because this live fire thing, I mean, yeah, it does look good. I think that the trees are in the way. Obviously, we want something that is playable, but this is a great demo as to what is possible with lighting, adding custom lighting, adding trees. And I mean, this one's really gonna blow you guys away. This is Behemoth. This is freaking Behemoth. Those structures right there are a part of Behemoth. This literally looks a part of the campaign, right? If someone showed us this before the game dropped, I mean, we would be like, well, that's obviously from the campaign. I mean, what else would it be? Would it be Forge? So the lighting, the baking looks up to par. I think it could be a little bit better, but man, this is Behemoth. I mean, look at the terrain. This is stuff that we've never had before on this scale. The rocks, the grass, the little particles, I mean, this is all convincing of campaign. People are building maps. It's almost like 343 wants us to be talking about this, to be for people to be revealing it and leaking it, because really, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot else positive going on with Halo Infinite. Now, Serasia showed this scripting engine, and boy, I mean, look at this. This is applying traits list. People have actually created custom equipment with Forge, right? And here we see what looks like a modifier for players. I mean, look at all this stuff going on here. All right, this is potential, right? Maybe you don't care about any of this, but this means that some incredible modes are going to be coming for free to our free-to-play game, right? This is really exciting. Now, there was a report that apparently adding Forge objects is impossible at the time as microtransactions, so I'm not quite sure how accurate that information is, but it did come from a reputable source that said that, so I don't know. That could change, but terrain, all right? Terrain is a big one. I forgot to mention terrain editing is quite insane. Look at this. This is another post by Serasia. You can actually do this on your computer, right? You can actually use the mouse and keyboard to edit maps exactly how you want. Look at this. You can change the scaling. It goes along with the terrain baked in the map. I mean, if no one told me, like, I would just think that's a part of the map. In fact, it almost looks like it has more polygons than the map itself. I mean, this is just amazing, right? It's not just like crappy little Forge maps. This stuff is going to be convincing of dev maps, I think. We have new billboards, all kinds of different little things there. Very cool, very cool. We also have creating working portals. You can weld teleporters to a mongoose, and and then anyone that walks into it will be teleported. All right, that could spawn several new modes. We also see the campaign exclusive stuff, which is super underrated. We have the chopper, I think is Hyperion's chopper, which has side blades, and then we have custom equipment tutorial again by Serasia. I mean, it's almost as if 343 wants us to see this stuff, right? Again, this is all work in progress. It's not final. Someone's flying a wasp under Bazaar. We actually seen screenshots of the Pelican before. I don't know if that's something that's going to make it into the Forge, but my gosh, there is just so much possibilities here. How to play Forge early. Here's a tutorial. You want to play Forge? Go play Forge. Infinite Forge will allow you to create custom power-ups. I mean, this stuff is insane. Driving the Saber. Alright, so it looks a little bit finicky. Looks like they're just trying to get out of the map. Probably the boundaries, but I mean, there it is. I've seen people flying it. I don't know where the clip is on right here, but object welding, that's another huge thing that we should all be excited for, right? All kinds of possibilities. We have the Shroud screen renders. I think that this is actually a new equipment. That's just a Corpus gun, maybe effect from Shrouds. Looks like a smoke grenade. I don't know, but this looks like a new thing coming probably to Season 3. Someone did a small case of materials that they blended. I mean, this is what I've seen everyone doing, right? Just adding a flat canvas on top of Behemoth. And it looks like an entirely new Forge map, right? We do know that there are several new maps coming to Halo Infinite, and that would be canvases. There's something called Wetlands. There's something called like Alpine, like a live fire world. And then, oh man, this one's got to be one of my favorites because it really shows how beautiful Forge looks. Look, I mean, look at this. Look at all these different materials. You can change all kinds of aspects of it. The red roughness, the metal aspect, the scratch and grime, the grime amount, the type of grime. I mean, you guys, this is insanity. This is insanity. This is... You're going to be able to create your own maps. And they're going to look probably pretty beautiful. As long as you kind of know what you're doing with the lighting and stuff. Hopefully that there is a pretty large budget for this game. I would hope so, because it is 2022. Budget's got to be bigger than Halo 5, right? I sure hope so. But man, the scaling and the compatibility with doing this with your mouse and keyboard, I mean, it's going to give people a lot more control on making the kind of maps they want. And a lot of this stuff is honestly first seen in Halo Online. Let's not forget that Halo Online kind of pioneered Forge quite a bit before Microsoft sent those DMCAs and shut it down. I'm talking about El Dorito if you don't know what Halo Online is. But yeah, I mean, you can create all kinds of wacky stuff here. And this one is probably the bottom of the list. So yeah, but look at all these maps. All the implications of all these maps are going to get something called Alpine, Burnt Forest, Desert, Glacier, Mist, Space, Tidal, Wetlands, and then there's also a map called Blank, which I'm specifically excited for because I think it's going to be the easiest for a lot of us Forgers to work on. We've always had to work with other maps or existing maps like canvases, and that's better than working on something like Forge World, but I want a completely empty map because I want to use as much of that Forge budget as I can. Like, there's no need to render all this stuff and use up background information and loading for players when I want to create all that. Maybe it's going to be an interior map. There's no reason to load any of this stuff, for example. So I'm excited about the blank canvas. But you guys let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. Are you excited for Forge? What do you think of all these maps and weapons and Forge possibilities coming to the game? So I'll catch you guys in the next one soon, all right? Pretty good, pretty cool stuff. A lot of hopium here.